the crystal bloom, and the whispering sands. In a realm far beyond the ordinary, nestled between towering, emerald-green mountains and a sea of shimmering, whispering sands, lay the secluded kingdom of Ethelgard. It was a place where ancient magic thrived, sustained by a legendary artifact known as the crystal bloom. This magnificent flower, constantly shimmering with an ethereal light, grew in the heart of the royal gardens, its petals made of pure, glowing crystal, said to be the source of all life and magic in Ethelgard. Its soft glow illuminated the entire capital, making every night as bright and gentle as dawn. Queen Isolde, a woman of grace and profound wisdom, ruled Ethelgard. She was a kind monarch, beloved by her people, and a guardian of the crystal bloom, a sacred duty passed down through generations. Her daughter, Princess Alara, was a vivacious and adventurous young woman whose spirit often longed to explore beyond the castle walls and the lush gardens. Alara, unlike her mother, often felt a restlessness within her, a curiosity about the world beyond Ethelgard's serene borders, particularly the mysterious Whispering Sands. The Whispering Sands were a vast, uncharted desert, feared by the people of Ethelgard. Legends spoke of ancient spirits and forgotten cities hidden within its shifting dunes. It was said that no one who ventured too far into the sands ever returned, and the constant, soft rustling of the dunes sounded like sorrowful whispers. The queen had always warned Alara against the desert, emphasizing its dangers and the importance of staying within the protective magic of the crystal bloom. One day, a terrible blight began to spread across Ethelgard. The vibrant colors of the kingdom started to fade, the air grew heavy, and even the crystal bloom's glow began to dim, flickering erratically. The land was slowly losing its magic, causing widespread panic. The royal healers and mages were baffled. No known cure or spell could reverse the blight. The crystal bloom, the source of their power, was failing. In a desperate search for answers, Queen Isolde consulted the ancient texts of Ethelgard. She discovered a forgotten prophecy. When the crystal bloom wilts, only the tears of the sun, found within the heart of the Whispering Sands, can restore its light and save the land. But beware the guardian of the tears, for he bears the mark of the forgotten kingdom. The queen knew the journey was perilous, but with her kingdom fading, she had no choice. Princess Alara, overhearing her mother's discovery, bravely volunteered. "Mother," she declared, "I will go. My heart yearns for adventure, and my spirit will not rest while our home suffers." Despite her mother's initial reluctance and fear, Alara's determination, fueled by love for her people, shone through. With a small satchel, a compass, and a pendant carved from a fragment of the crystal bloom, a gift from her mother, meant to offer some protection, Alara ventured into the Whispering Sands. The desert was unlike anything she had ever imagined. Vast, silent, yet filled with an unnerving presence. Days turned into nights, and the landscape shifted constantly. Alara faced scorching heat, biting cold, and the deceptive mirages that tried to lead her astray. The whispers of the sand grew louder, sometimes sounding like warnings, sometimes like mournful songs. She clung to her mother's pendant, its faint glow her only solace. One evening, exhausted and almost out of water, Alara stumbled upon an ancient ruin, half buried in the sand. It was a magnificent city, unlike anything in Ethelgard, adorned with intricate carvings and symbols she did not recognize. As she explored, she heard a faint, sorrowful melody. Following the sound, she found a lone figure, a young man with a face etched with sadness, playing a lyre. He had eyes the color of the desert night and bore a strange, swirling mark on his arm. His name was Kale, and he was the guardian of the tears of the sun. Kale explained that he was the last descendant of the forgotten kingdom of Eredor, a once proud desert civilization that had been destroyed centuries ago by a powerful magical blight, similar to the one now afflicting Ethelgard. The tears of the sun were not physical tears, but drops of condensed starlight that fell only once a millennium in a hidden oasis, imbued with immense healing magic. Kale's ancestor, the last king of Eredor, had sealed these tears away, fearing their misuse, and placed Cale's family line under a solemn oath to guard them. The mark on his arm was the seal of this oath. Lyanna explained the plight of Ethelgard and the prophecy. Cale listened, his face impassive. He admitted that the tears of the sun were real and could save her kingdom, but he refused to help. "The tears are too dangerous," he stated, his voice devoid of emotion. "They brought ruin once. I will not allow it again." Elara, however, saw past his cold demeanor. She saw the deep pain and loss in his eyes. Undeterred, Elara stayed with Cale in the ruins, trying to convince him. She shared stories of Ethelgard, its vibrant life, its beautiful music, and the suffering of its people. She spoke of her mother's wisdom and the joy the crystal bloom brought. Slowly, imperceptibly, Cale began to listen. He saw the genuine kindness in Elara's eyes, a stark contrast to the fear and hostility his ancestors had encountered. He also saw her courage, reminding him of the bravery of his own lost people. One night, as a sandstorm raged, Elara fell ill. Cale, despite his vow, couldn't bear to see her suffer. He used a tiny fraction of the tears of the sun, a single drop, to heal her. As the magic touched Elara, a faint light briefly emanated from her crystal bloom pendant, connecting with Cale's ancestral mark. In that moment, Cale saw a vision, not of the tears causing destruction, but of their true purpose, to restore balance and life, when wielded with a pure heart. He saw his ancestors not as victims of the tears, but of a misplaced attempt to control raw magic. "The prophecy was misunderstood," Cale whispered, his voice trembling. "The tears didn't bring the blight to Eredor. The abuse of another magical artifact did. The Guardian was meant to protect them until a true heart could use them to heal." He realized that his ancestors' fear had led them to misinterpret the true meaning of the prophecy, seeing only danger where there was also hope. He finally agreed to help Elara. Together, they journeyed deeper into the sands, guided by an ancient map only Cale possessed. They reached the hidden oasis, a breathtaking place where liquid starlight flowed. The tears of the sun were gathered in a pool, shimmering with pure, concentrated magic. As Elara collected the tears in a crystal vial, Cale's mark glowed brightly, dissolving the ancient oath and freeing him from his solitary guardianship. He felt a sense of peace he hadn't known in years. As they returned, the blight in Ethelgard had worsened. The crystal bloom was nearly dark, and the queen was gravely ill. Elara rushed to her mother's side and, with Cale's help, poured the tears of the sun onto the dying crystal bloom. A blinding light erupted, washing over Ethelgard. Colors burst forth, the air vibrated with renewed magic, and the crystal bloom glowed brighter than ever before. Queen Isolde regained her strength, and joy returned to the faces of her people. Cale decided to stay in Ethelgard, no longer bound by his solitary duty. He revealed the true history of Eredor, sharing his people's wisdom and culture, and helping to bridge the long-standing fear between the two lands. The Whispering Sands, once a symbol of dread, now became a path of understanding and connection. Queen Isolde, realizing the strength and wisdom Lyanna had gained, declared her not just a princess, but a true leader. Lyanna and Cale worked together to foster peace and knowledge, ensuring that the magic of Ethelgard and the wisdom of the Forgotten Desert would flourish side by side, forever reminded that true healing comes not just from power, but from courage, understanding, and a willingness to look beyond old fears. If you like this video, please subscribe the channel. Thank you.